Hello and what's going on with y'all? It's your favorite bandit boy, Jimmy here to steal the most valuable thing that you have. That's right, give it to me. Or if you want, you can also give it to me and I'm not considered a criminal, which I actually prefer. So here's a little question. What's infinite, but still we have so little of? I will give you time to think. You got it? Yeah, that's right. Time. Time is the answer. Time is always and forever. It's here, it's there, it's now and then, it's up and down, like and subscribe. It's the most valuable thing we have in our entire life. You always trade your time for. It could be money, it could be knowledge, and there's nothing like purchase on approval. It's not like you can try to buy something with your time and then give it back later 30 days. No, it doesn't work like that. Time is the most valuable asset we have in our entire life. And when we talk about time, I just want to take my time and say thank you all so much that you have been here with me over, I don't know, like 10 videos. I have almost have like 500 views on my channel. I just want to thank you all so much that you have commented, that you have liked, that you have subscribed. I will do my best to answer every comment. I will do my best to be glad for every like and every view I got on this channel. There's no one I would rather give watch time to than you guys. It's a huge blessing for me, and I want to take my time just to say thank you before we actually start this video. So with that said, how can we come up to a conclusion what actually is worth our time? Well, I can tell my point of view, what I think is worth my time, or what I want to do with my time that I have left in my life. And why not you guys? I hope you guys can also tell me what you actually want in your life, or what you want to invest your time in. So please tell me down in the comments below. So, with a quick search online, I found out that a human average lifetime is 79 years old, so let's say 80 years old. In the year 1900, the average was like 31, so it is good for us anyway. We actually live longer and longer, and probably we're actually gonna live even longer in the future. But for right now, let's pretend you live until you're 80 years old. And right now you're 20. So that means you have 60 years more to go. Maybe you're even 40 years old, which means half of your life is already done. That's like 14,600 days, or be a little bit more specific, around 350,000 hours, which is already gone. And I would guess that most people that watching these videos isn't under 15, and most of them shouldn't be over 50 or isn't under 50. If I'm wrong, and you're here to write me then. So let's cut the history class and let's get right into action. And hopefully I can tell you what I want to do to invest my time with, or how I can save my time to do something else with it instead. One thing, and the first thing I can do to save my time in the future, is to actually grow my wealth and grow my assets. And I think that's a fantastic idea. If you grow your assets, it's gonna be a snowball effect if you actually put your money into it also. And what an asset is that something that puts money into your pocket, and a liability is something that takes money out of your pocket. So if you invest in an asset that put in your money in your pocket and you reinvested it every time year after year, suddenly you're gonna get enough money in your pocket every month in order to save time from the work or whatever in the future. It's like a snowball effect, you know, the snowball is rolling down from the hill and it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, just like my stomach. So you maybe ask yourself now and say, well, if you grow your asset, that time is still gonna be spent on something. And that's true in some extent. But I'm gonna give you an example and let's see if you can figure this out. Let's say you work a 9-to-5 job. You start to work when you're 18 years old and you retire at the age of 65. If you take the average American, that person works for around 1,811 hours every year. Multiply that by 47, well, that's 85,000 hours in total, if you work between year 18 and year 65. So the next time you work at an office and check on your clock on the wall and you say to yourself, oh, it's only 2 hours left. In the reality, it's actually around 50,000 hours left before you actually can go home and spend your time with your family and not your boss. If you would ask someone out on the street if they would actually want to work 80,000 hours before they could retire, most would probably say no, no, no. Let's say for an example you want to save 40,000 hours, half the time. Maybe you have to sacrifice around 1 to 5,000 hours. And by doing that, you have to learn, you have to study, you have to invest, you have to see the stock market, maybe real estate, something like that. You have to make yourself uncomfortable by doing something else. And most people aren't willing to take that risk or take that route. They usually just want to stick to the old routine. And there's a lot of ways how you can do it. You can invest in the stock market, you can invest in books and try to learn about the stock market or real estate or whatever. Facts over feelings. If you grow your assets, you will save time in the future. Number 2 that I want to talk about that is so extremely important is to do the things you love. Most important ever. If someone say anything else, it's up to you, but I wouldn't listen to them. People like different things. They like hockey, they like their family, they like dancing, they like subscribing to channels they are watching. Let's be real here for a moment. Everyone out there has something they actually need to prioritize, but the most important person in your life is actually yourself. You're the engine of this car. If you build the life around the real estate or financial freedom, or if you want to work at your work, if you want to be involved with stocks, you assemble this car, you will be the car that you are creating. And if you don't take care of yourself, well, then the car is gonna be really, really bad. You will need your daily dose of happiness, which is the fuel equal gas. And if you fill that tank that you have, you will go X amount of miles. If there's always gonna be an uphill road forever and ever, well, the trip you're gonna take is gonna be shorter. And if it's gonna be a downhill road, well, then it's the opposite. The trip is gonna be much, much longer. So it's all up to you if you want to decide if you actually want to take care of yourself or not. I will do it and I will always do it. If I feel stressed out or if I feel bad, guess what I do? I'm gonna go and play on the piano or the guitar. I want to take care of myself, and so should you, because that time is the most valuable time by far. If you do things that you hate or that you actually are disgusted with, that's gonna take out your momentum in life and it's gonna throw it right down in the trash bin, and I wouldn't be the one person doing that to you or myself. If you actually don't take care of yourself, or you just have the habit to sleep, eat, work and repeat over and over and over, and you're actually killing yourself inside, then you have a bad habit that you need to unlearn. And what the problem is with habits is that we usually do them and we like them. The people, our brain, we like habits because when we are in a habit and when we have a habit, it's on autopilot. We don't need to think, we can just go straight on, keep going, because it's the easiest thing we can do. But if you have to build up a new habit over the old one, now suddenly you have to think, you have to react, and you have to respond to what's happening. And that's much, much, much harder for you, but it will be much better in the future if you can have good habits. It's like planting a seed. It will take weeks or even years before you can successfully harvest the fruit or the yield from the tree. And the same goes with habits. It will take time, but when your bad habit is gone and you have exchanged it with a good habit that make you feel better, you're gonna thank yourself 1,000 times over. And also, if you like this video, don't forget to hit the big like button down below, so the like button turns blue and not gray. The last thing we can talk about that you can do to save your time or be efficient with your time is to make a priority list. It's extremely efficient and it's an amazing great way to manage your time. If you have a priority list, it's much, much easier for you to actually do the things that you need to prioritize. Let's say, for an example, that you tend your garden, and that's good to know that you can tend your garden. But if that tend to garden is at number 14, maybe you should consider doing number 1 first, which is fixing your car or driving the kids to school. I don't know, it's up to you what you have in your priority in your life, but that's a good way if you actually want to save time and be efficient with it. Also, what I usually do is not just one priority list, but I can also do something called a reminder list, close to like a shopping list. Let's say you want to go to the store and shop for the items you just got your salary for the month. Instead of going to the store and forget 10 items of those 14, which means you have to go back 3 times, you can now buy everything in one go. suddenly you have saved 3 trips to the store and you have saved something called anger, because you're surely gonna be angry about yourself. I have a reminder board at home on my fridge. I have a terrible memory, it's awful. And on that board I can see every day I open my fridge, I need to do 100 push-ups, I need to water my flowers, I need to do the Apple education online that I have, because I know my memory is worthless, it's non-existent. And that's why I have the board right there. And on my fridge I have something called a reminder list. It's not a priority list, but it's something, when I open the fridge every time I can see the reminder list, so I know that I have to do 100 push-ups, that I have to water my... God damn it, didn't I just say that? Anyway, you are in the control of your actions and your time. If you want to take the time to press the subscribe button, if you want to take the time to go to a movie, if you want to work on your assets, if you want to work on your family, everything is up to you. But manage your time and you will thank yourself in the future by doing it. So my question to you is, what will you do with your time? That's all for me. Thank you.